So Gavin, this is such an interesting role and habits, such a wild movie. You get to play this washed up actor turned drug dealer. What really drew you to this role?
Identification. No, I don't. um, just I like well, not I always get cast as the I rarely stay alive in movies. I'm always the bad guy, and I just I liked it. It just felt like we all have times when we lose our way, and it just felt like a dude that just had totally lost his way. And it's funny, people don't prepare for success, and when you get success, it's really you know it just blows your mind, and you got to be careful not to turn into a jerk, and you're cool with it. But then if when you slide down the mountain and things aren't as rosy, it's really tough. And so seeing this guy who clearly was someone, I imagined him as some sitcom star and big in people's lives, and suddenly he wasn't big, and then so he turns to dealing drugs. And I don't know, I empathize with people that take the wrong, more the human side of life, not the sort of perfect manicured success stories. I like it when people lose their way. And I like the words were fun, and they bounce off the page to me. And I felt like I could, sometimes you read scripts and it's a bit tricky because if they're not written well, you're just like, how do I put life in this, So it felt like a script full of life, and all the people involved, from Janelle through to Paris. I love Paris. She's an amazing person, and Bella's a terrific actress, and so it was really good fun. I love the Kills, one of my favorite bands. So it seemed like I was like, is this a long form video for the Kills? And we're all in. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah, Allison and Jamie.
Yeah, it was so cool that Jamie was there. Did you actually know him before this? How was it
No,
like working
no,
with him?
I was, well, first off, they're literally one of my favorite bands. So for me, it was a little intimidating, because if you like someone's work so much, you just, not only are you scared they're not the person that you want them to be, but also what if you don't get along, and now suddenly you've got this disconnected vibe with a band you love. So we just got on great. He was an actor first, before the Kills. He trained as an actor, and in fact, the Kills were signed from him doing a play at the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland. So I think for him, finally to come and do a movie was a really big deal for him, and he was brilliant to work with because he had a sort of vulnerability about his process that I really liked. And so we rehearsed a lot, and I don't know, we really connected. I loved him, and it was only at the end, after working with him for like 3 or 4 days, whatever, that when we said goodbye, I took his number and I hugged him. I was like, by the way, I love your band. Amazing band. And so he said some nice things to me, which I was surprised about. And then we vowed to stay in touch, but then during the pandemic. So once the pandemic starts to subside a bit further, I look forward to hanging out with him. I'm going to force him to be friends with me.
Awesome. You have this wonderful monologue very early on in the film about LA and how the valley was a swamp where
Yeah.
all these animals got stuck and died. Is it difficult to memorize such a lengthy speech, or is it a bit similar to remembering song lyrics?
Um, it was those words were so delicious, and I just wanted to try to treat every line like a piece of fruit. And so just by running it enough, I did get it. There were some times when I'm very close with Janelle, and we work together great. And it did make me laugh, where she'd be like, on the third setup, so yeah, you do your boring bit, and then we go on to the next bit. And I was like crushed as an actor. I was like, oh my God, she's tough. But yeah, I just liked it, and I think that I think this by doing it a lot, I found it. I mean, it's not a lot compared to Shakespeare, so I don't know. It's okay.
Bella Thorne's so great in the film, and despite being so young, she's a veteran pretty much. She's been doing it for so long, and she's
She's
so
been doing
charismatic.
she's a special girl, and I really enjoyed my time with her, and she's just, when people are really good actors, it's makes it the job much better because you can really bring things to life and really make things real and believable. And so for me, it was just such a pleasure to be opposite her because you could feed off of that. You know, if acting is about exchanges of ideas and emotions and dialogue and stuff like that, like regular conversations. So it just helps when someone's that assured and that confident. She's got such a swagger, you know what I mean? She's like formidable, actually.
You mentioned how a lot of your characters in the films you've been in wind up dying, and there's a torture scene in this. What's it like filming that, where you're screaming for your life?
It's becoming I'm becoming used to it. From I've been killed in most movies I've been in, and I've never played a good guy. I played a good guy once um, in a film with the most beautiful Brittany Murphy, and that was kind of fun but weird. And I ended up we had such a great rapport. They cut me out of most of the film, so I got blooded from that film. So the film I was with her, Little Black Book, was a great experience with Brittany. So I generally that's the only time I played a good guy. Yeah, and see what happened.
You know, one of the most iconic like deaths of you was in Constantine. Do you have any memories about that and working with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I just actually did Bush did the song for the last John Wick. So that's Chad Stahelski, who's the director of John Wick now. He was the stunt director on that. So well, first of all, that was an amazing experience with Keanu, and I learned a lot, and I watched, and I figured going to work on that set that I was the least experienced person there. The janitor had way more experience than me. I was like, wow. So I just poked it the whole way because I had no right to be there or do anything in that. But it was a wonderful experience. Then to be reunited with them uh, in the in the form of John Wick was good. You know, see them again. I love Keanu. He's amazing. He's a wonderful man, a great actor, and really underrated actor. I mean, like maybe now when John Wick last came out, suddenly the world was in love with Keanu as they should be, because previous to that, when he'd acted so well in Bill and Ted, he got accused of being the actor in Bill and Ted, and it's like a little bit dumb because he's just a fantastic actor.
You know, there's a lot of scenes with drug use. What exactly are you snorting during those scenes?
Apparently, I have to kill you if I tell you, so I can't. No, I don't know. I think I thought it was glucose, but apparently it was almond flour or some bullshit, some vegan stuff. So apparently it was gluten free, but my nose suffered for like 3 months afterwards. I had like the worst kind of crusty, bloody nose. It was not good. I suffered for the film.
You know, speaking of vegan, I saw you did some wonderful cooking videos of preparing some vegan dishes. Are you ever going to do a full-fledged cooking show, Gavin?
Uh, Thank you for asking. I'm trying to get this one show made. I've had it. I've made a pilot for a show called Eat with Gavin Rossdale, and we're in the process of finding a home for it. So I've done that. I'm doing that, and it's always been a passion of mine. And people are always a little bit surprised if like I have a page on my Instagram. I have my Instagram page of my food and stuff, and people are surprised when, for some reason, that I can cook. You know what I mean? I think maybe it's a European thing. I don't know what it is. Like to me, it's normal because it's what I do, but it seems to be I don't know. People like it. It's a wonderful um, sort of hobby, to share with people. You know what I mean? Beats golf.
Definitely. And, you know, you're in a position where you don't really have to act and you can kind of be picky with your roles. Do you feel that acting is a good recharge for you creatively when it comes to music? And how do you balance all of your different artistic endeavors?
Well, at the moment I'm writing a film, doing my next film with Janelle. It's called The Edge of Nowhere, and so we're working on that. And I'm trying to get this TV show made, and I'm writing a record. So I like having three major jobs that I keep pushing up the mountain, and they each inform the other. Because as soon as I spend a few days in one discipline, I kind of miss the other one. Obviously, music is my main life. So I always feel that I got to run back in the studio. And I love acting. I just like the process of bringing words to life. And then I love the process of writing songs. I mean, I've written songs forever. And when I write a new song, there's the alchemy. I can't believe it, how it came together. And I look it back and with all the layers, I don't know how I did it, but I'm the only person doing it. And it's really magical for me. And I love that. And it's the same magic with movies, you know, when you do those scenes, whether with Bella, with Jamie or Josie, it's just so fun when it just feels real and you just, you know what I mean? You just, with the action and you go, and I don't know, I like that sort of weird pressure to sort of create something and you have these moments to just not fuck up, basically. Indie films, you can't really fuck up. You can't fuck up your lines because they got no time. You know what I mean?
One of your first film appearances was a cameo in Zoolander. I've always been curious, how did that come about?
Just being friends with Ben, but I mean that's on my IMDb page and stuff like that. But I think I'm literally in like one frame and then two frames. We went there. It was the day I remember going there with Gwen, and we didn't really know where to go. And we sat up in the bleachers, and the camera, phew, phew, like great, that's it. So I don't, you know, Little Black Book, where I got ended up on the cutting room floor because apparently, according to Brittany Murphy, our energy was too good. Our connection was too good, and the audience wanted us to end up together. So they just cut me out of the film completely to get the other guy in there. So that's what Brittany told me, and told me I should continue acting, and that I was really had something special, and like especially to considering we lost her and to such an unfortunate, unnecessary, death. It was wonderful to have that experience with her. So my memory of that is a much bigger experience than Zoolander. I kind of literally passed through, but Little Black Book, I was in it actually.
And then my last question here, there's been a bit of, this film is an interesting exploration of religion here. And there's been some Christian controversy around the film and its depictions. I kind of seems a bit, I don't know, it kind of feels like we're going back to the 90s with some of this protest stuff. But do you have any thoughts on that? And, it feels like art should just be able to, explore different things.
In the context of what's happening in Afghanistan and the women who are literally being killed and face fear of death and completely medieval behavior. I just say I just have nothing to say to anyone who has a problem with this movie. I mean, this is a movie, and if you don't like it, don't watch it. You know?